Hello, welcome back to another episode of Modded Kerbal Space Program, where we're picking up after our horrible set of fortune in our last recording session, where OBS crashed twice for me, once for Bobby, leaving me without footage for an episode, Bobby without footage for half an episode. All sorts of terrible things happening, basically.
We did good.
Yeah, and then us just completely screwing up on that third episode, basically to a point. Well, somewhere in there, it might not have just been the third episode, but basically unrecoverable. Anyways, I fixed a lot of those problems off camera here. We got these auxiliary fuel tanks that, after some further calculations, we may not actually need, because what we've discovered is that
We're good
Kerbal
at math.
Engineer is basically really confused by this ship. It thinks this ship only has 1700 Delta V for some reason. That's not the case at all. We took basically what we've got in the way of fuel here to use to actually move this whole thing, these four engines, and then I replicated the mass of this entire thing in the hangar. And basically, we have like 12,000 Delta V, assuming this works. We have a very minimal thrust to weight ratio. So there's that. If it becomes basically completely unusable, we may just ditch these tanks and try without them. But who knows how this is going to work? I sure as heck don't.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, anyways, we're a long ways away from using this, though. It's like our optimal window is like 4 years away. So there's that.
Speaking of optimal windows, I know we sent other things towards Duna.
Yeah, they still have quite a bit of time.
And
The Duna probe will be at its maneuver in 244 days.
All right.
The Duna ship that has 3 Kerbals that are doomed to die on it will be there in 1 year and 18 days.
I thought this was the rescue mission for those Kerbals.
It could be. They may not have enough life support to last them until this gets there. They may be able to make it back. It's going to be real sketchy. It might be possible. They definitely don't have enough fuel to get back. That's for sure. I'm almost 100% positive of that. But we'll find out. This may be a rescue mission. Who knows? Maybe. Anyways, there's also a Drace probe, and that'll be at its maneuver in 1 year, 201 days. So we've got quite a ways before any of those are ready to go. So what I'm going to be working on here is we need to apply struts. A lot of the struts that I did in the previous episodes have gone because we did some reverting and it kind of screwed some stuff up. I do need to apply struts to these radial mounted tanks and this one of these landers. I don't remember which one. And then in between some of these things. So I need to apply lots of struts places. And what are you going to work on, Bobby? What was it we determined?
So I've got a I'm kind of doing a crazy idea that I kind of came up with here. So you've got your standard MK1-2 command pod here. I'm going to toss 3 Kerbals on it. This is a Pioneer module from the what's this from? It's from the what mod is this from? It's under utility.
That's like the space station mod.
Yeah, the Kolonisation mod.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the Pioneer module here. And this supposedly inputs organics and machinery parts and outputs water, food, oxygen, and recyclables. But yeah, so and I have this filled up with. Well, I guess I don't need to fill it with recycle, or do I need to fill it with recyclables?
I don't think you need to fill it with anything because we don't have any of the other parts of the space station to make any of that useful.
No, we'll fill it with organics and mulch. And what is so? And this outputs recyclable, so I will drop the recyclables down to 0. But I'll fill it up with the inputs are organics and machinery. It uses 0.02 machinery a day. And so let's see here. Yeah, it is equipped with the Thunder Aerospace Corporation Life Support System. All right, so let's see here. And actually, what's the life support on it? This says life support on it right now for 3 days. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to add more life support on this. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a polar orbit of Kerbin. And we're going to get some scan, and using the scan modules here that we have unlocked, we're going to use it to get radar, SAR altimetry, and the other one, multispectral, of which the only one I have is radar altimetry of Kerbin. I don't have this one or this
You don't
other
have
one.
the multispectral?
I don't have multispectral of Kerbin.
You should.
I checked my science and I don't have it.
That's weird.
Let's
because
double check here.
The satellite is there is a satellite with that one around Kerbin.
I'm just going to call this the mini station. Here, I actually will call this the crazy station with a K. And I'll save that before I exit out here to the science thing and double check. Because, let's see here. So under the science archives, I have low, let's see here. I have low resolution of Kerbin, but not of Minmus and the Mun. And I have biome anomaly of Kerbin, but not of Minmus. Okay, so I have both of them of Kerbin, so I take that back. I have both of them on Kerbin, but I don't have the third one on Kerbin. So I'll get that, give Dan a chance to do that. Then I'm going to head over to the Mun. And assuming I have enough Delta V to get to the Mun. If not, I'll just launch up another ship to refuel it. So I'll head over to the Mun, get those exact same experiments. Then I'll head over to the Minimus and get those exact same experiments. And then with the Kerbals, I will get crew reports and EAVs for those.
Sounds good.
So hopefully that will get me a frack ton of science as needed here. So yeah, I have this. I've already got the altimetry. Oh god, you think I could say altimetry?
You'd think that.
I work in aerospace. But anyways, I got the altimetry scanner here. I got the multi-spec here. The radar altimetry. So SAR altimetry. What does that stand for? I don't know. And then I have a regular comms antenna for transmitting stuff back. And it says here, command pod. And then it's all under utility. Going to add, let's see here, is it the large that fits? Yeah, so it's the large here. So, or do I want to do the radial things? Let's see here, we'll do the larges. So we'll toss on an oxygen, cylinder here for large, life support, food container large. Actually, do I really need all those? Because that's giving me, that's giving me thousands of days. I don't need thousands of days per se.
It does it does take a while to get the full map of the planet.
It does. You're right. But do I?
And I think it might even take longer on around the Mun and Minmus.
Nah, you know what? We're not playing career mode. We're playing science mode. So money,
doesn't exist.
Money kind of doesn't exist. So I got the oxygen, the life support. You need actually here. We'll do the triple one here. That's got all three of them in here to save space here, because the Pioneer module also has additional life support on it. Here it is, the large. It took me long enough to find it. And then here's the triple waste one. We'll put that on there. And then for doing EAVs, this guy has its own has 2 ladders on each side. So that shouldn't be too bad here. And then since we're fans of control, we're going to add a reaction control wheel here at the bottom. Why does that not look connected? Connect. There we go. Oh, one more thing I forgot to add, or I want to add. This acts as a science module also. So it should be able, and also have a scientist on board. So he'll be able to reset some of the experiments that I bring. Science! Or no, that's under utility. Utility, we want the... Where is the stock, utility service bay? There it is. Now here's this. We're just going to open this and
it's kind of like space ballet here. This applying struts in orbit. Link and link.
How much does this guy weigh?
Struts applied there. So many places to strut.
Mass 1.25. That's not all that heavy. We'll keep that guy on there. I've attached a OKS connector hub in case I want to, because my plan for the spacecraft is for it to be reusable. Mm-hmm. So in the event we kind of want to turn this into another space station, I've added a hub connector to it. In the event.
Sounds good.
Now, always thinking expansion.
Huh. Oh, it's just a tiny little speck of water. I was like, I see something weird moving off in the distance. And no, it's just a tiny little lake on the surface of Carbon. It doesn't really look like a lake from orbit.
Rear fuel tanks.
All right, got to move over to the other side here. There's all sorts of little weird connectors that I'm incredibly tempted to just go around and to break off of the ship that don't need to be there anymore.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I'm afraid I'll accidentally right-click on something I don't want to right-click on and accidentally scrap something.
All right. So I'm going to put 2 monopropellant tanks in the service bay. Science. And then we're going to put... Oh, okay, the Gravimax isn't actually all that big. It looks huge in its kind of UI, but... So we'll put kind of 2 of them right... Actually, can we put... Nah. We'll put kind of 2 of them right here. And what else? What other science? Atmospheric, a device for performing accurate fluid spectrophotometry scans of surrounding atmosphere. We're going to be around Curve. Oh, geez, that is kind of big. That is kind of big, but we'll put it to the roof We don't need to.
All right. Strut attached to one auxiliary tank. I have very many struts to attach to auxiliary tanks here.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm actually going to use my new favorite tank. As soon as I find it, where did it go? Oh, that's right, it's under utility. So we're going to use the container tank, slap it right on there, and we're going to, okay, this is filled with fuel and oxidizer. So again, I'm not putting a, whatchamacallit on here at all, a stack separator, because I plan on reusing this. So this is my main tank here, and then we'll get a Mr. Because this probably doesn't have enough push. So what is my thrust to weight ratio? My thrust to weight ratio is 0.5 if I put in a poodle.
That's it's not very much.
No,
is it still set to surface, or did you set it to space?
No, let me set it to space. You're right.
Because it is different.
Yeah.
All right, got to swing around. Well, we're already over on this side, so I will apply one of these struts to this top section as well.
Hold on, I can't set it to...
How
do I set it to space?
If you're in the expanded mode, click on the atmosphere button, and then just drag the altitude the whole way up to 72.
I did, and it didn't change anything.
Weird.
Actually, when I drag altitude to 0, it actually drops it down to 0.14 thrust to weight ratio.
Yeah, that's not good. But I mean, you could make it work. It's not great, obviously.
Now, if I remove this guy, how much is that? That only brings it up to 0.55, so it's not my hub here.
No, those things probably don't weigh very much.
Yeah, it's obviously the Pioneer module.
It's probably the Pioneer module, and it's probably your container tank.
Yeah.
Those container tanks are really heavy.
Are they really that heavy? I thought they were lighter.
No, well, I mean, even full of fuel, I mean, they're still heavy.
But I mean, I thought they were lighter than, like, the conventional...
Well, they might be, but that doesn't mean that they aren't heavy.
Well, we're going to leave it like that for now. We're going to leave it like that for the time being. Let us attach... Where's my docking ports? I'm going to attach 2 regular docking ports here. It's not letting me... Okay, docking port there. Why?
So my Kerbal does some weird things while I'm like in my inventory, attaching struts or like moving things from one inventory to another. He starts rotating in weird ways that I didn't actually think you could make them rotate in space.
Mm.
I have no idea if this ship is even going to work.
Where is... Let's see here. Albart is just an engineer. I thought he was a pilot.
I think it changes. I think it's just random.
All right.
with everyone other than the...
Well, here I'm gonna grab Valentina here, and I probably should have at least one engineer on there. Well, nah, probably gonna regret that. But actually, I can put the Bob and Bilby in the Pioneer module, and then we could toss Berto Kerman, and another engineer. Maybe I want another pilot. We only need one pilot. And Jane Kerman up there. There we go.
All right. I may have wasted a strut endpoint there, but it should be fine. I should have plenty, honestly. All right, got to move around to the other side. So many things to strut on this thing. We're at the end of the episode, though. If you like the video, click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time for some more modded Kerbal Space Program. Thanks for watching. Bye.